So solving equations using the distributive property. So the distributive property, hopefully you've seen it before. That just means distribute whatever into the parentheses. So if you look at this equation, it's 3 parentheses x minus 1. Since the 3 is directly in front of that parentheses, that just means to multiply. So it's 3 times that parentheses. Remember, in order of operations, you have to do what's inside of the parentheses first. Well, you can't take an x and subtract 1 because they don't both have an x on it. So I would need to distribute. So it would be 3 times x. 3 times x is just 3x. 3 times negative 1 would be a negative 3. And then bring down your equal sign. Once you've done that, it's just like we were solving last week, where you have 3x minus 3 equals 12. So right here, that was where we did the distributive property. Okay, now if I want to solve for the 3x, what inverse operation do I need to do? So the inverse of subtract 3 is to add 3. This is one thing that you guys messed up on the quiz, was that you didn't write the correct operation you used. So right here I used the addition. I used addition to find my answer for the first step, or I guess it's technically the second after I distributed. So 12 plus 3 is 15. Bring down your equals, bring down your 3x. Okay. Now it's 3x equals 15. So 3 times x, the inverse of multiply by 3 is divide by 3, and divide by 3. So x equals 15 divided by 3 is 5. So this operation right here was division. Now, for those of you that keep saying that this stuff is really easy, what gets harder, or what's actually in the standards for Algebra 1, is being able to tell which property you used. So that's why I did add it to the quiz, just to see if you could tell me I used the addition, or I used addition, or I used division. In this top one, we used distributive. Distribution. We'll just say distribution. So we use distribution, addition, and division. Okay. So that's our first example. The next example is 2 parentheses 5x minus 10 equals 50. Again, the first thing that you need to do is distribute that 2. So it'd be 2 times 5x. So 2 times 5 is 10 times x. So you always have to multiply the numbers first and then multiply the x. Then 2 times negative 10 would be negative 20 equals 50. So I'm going to just say distribute. Okay. Then let's do the next step. Solve for the variable. So I need to get rid of the minus 20 first. So the opposite of subtract 20 is add 20. Add 20. 50 plus 20 is 70. So 10x equals 70. This was addition, or I added. I'm just going to write add. Okay. The next step, it's 10 times x. So again, divide by 10. Divide by 10. This is division. So it would be x equals 70 divided by 10 is just 7. So that would be your answer. You could go back in and plug it in if you were unsure. If you ever are thinking that you got it wrong, you can always go plug it back in. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses 5 times 7 minus 10 equals 50. Do the parentheses first. 5 times 7 is 35. Minus 10 is 25. then multiply by the 2. 2 times, oops, too low. 2 times 25 is 50, which that is correct. So that's how you could check to see if you really did solve properly. Okay, there is an assignment for you to do today. I think it's 4 or 5 questions. It will be homework if you do not finish.